Knees Over Toes guy here, joined by Fernando Lopez, Cortland Holloway. I guess I should call myself Ben Patrick.
Yeah.
We're talking about social media. Forrest, the man behind the camera, has a 40-minute or less timer for us, so you could listen to this while you work out. Might as well go over your own goals in reality. Like, let's actually work on social media in reality. Then someone else out there is going to get some real examples. So we have a chat where we message way too much with the other ATG guys making content. It's hard to keep up with, but we really obsess on this subject of social media. So Fernando, where are you at with things? What are your goals? We'll look at real examples.
I mean, goals, I believe in big goals, but also having like the small target sub goals. I think that's very important. A lot of people set a big goal and then they get overwhelmed by it so far away and they kind of quit. So I like to have my big goal. Yeah, obviously, I think we all want 1 million followers. We all want to have a big influence and help people. But
overrated, but no.
Yeah.
I'm joking. You actually should. If you have a way to help people, you should.
Yeah, like if you actually are doing something of value, I think it's important to try to help as many as you can. But with that said, you know, I'm at, I don't know, around 80, so I want to get to 100. And really, I don't think about it that much. My biggest goal is every week I want to have a comment or a message of a success.
That's
like
awesome.
That is how I judge my statistics. If I'm doing a good job, and I've started doing this for the last couple months, is I actually tally and keep a track. Yeah, I have views, overall views, but the most important stat to me is positive feedback, if you will. Okay, so
that gives two stats for someone listening.
Yeah,
we all track our weekly views. So I know, okay, last week I got 3 million views. I'm reaching that many people. But yeah, if you really want to do it right, you would track every week how many views are you getting, but every week how many, let's say, success stories are you getting. Yeah. And that could get to a point where it's like too hard to even count.
That would be awesome. Yeah, because I'd rather get 500,000 views and 100 success stories than 5 million views and 2 success stories.
That exactly.
You have to understand that.
The purpose of this podcast is for someone who's trying to improve lives. And Court, so what were your guys' weekly views this week?
What was mine, like 700?
I don't remember.
I think it was like 700,000.
Talking about for
the views for last week.
Yeah, I think Instagram I had like right over 650.
Yeah, you had more than me. Yeah,
that's
right over that.
That's a lot of views.
But that's just including Instagram though, because like if I looked on my TikTok and stuff, but that's not necessarily like ATG stuff. So
well, no, I mean, I would tell someone to see it's two different sides. It's the marketing side, so you have the views, and then it's the human side, like you're trying to improve lives. Yeah. These are two different. The views doesn't tell you how many lives you're improving. You could be worsening lives.
Nah, facts.
You could be advertising drugs, promising that someone's knee pain will go away, and it doesn't work, but people are spending money. Like there's ways you could everything we're doing, you could manipulate on an inversion, and harm people, and get views. But I would say for someone out there, we track like up to 3 platforms. So like I give my combined Instagram, YouTube, and X are the 3 that I work on.
Yeah.
You can absolutely work on your TikTok.
Yeah, but I think TikTok is like, it's cool, but
That's what you use it for.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the idea is to grow on something that's like, I'm not saying TikTok isn't meaningful, but I do think like Instagram and X is more meaningful as far as like trying to get real engagement and help people. I mean, TikTok is cool. Like you get followers and stuff really quickly, but like I think like the real engagement from people comes from Instagram and X and YouTube.
I think that's where having more than one statistic is important, basically.
Yeah, I say up to 3 is realistic.
Yeah, what would be the third statistic?
I wouldn't even evaluate for you. I'm just saying you could use whatever you think. Like for someone out there, this is a framework.
Yeah. I track my TikTok, my YouTube, and my Instagram.
There you go.
And I will be doing X more intently soon, but
whatever someone's working hard on.
So whatever you're working on, and then that's why I keep that other stat, because TikTok might be 100,000 views, but I had no positive feedback.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
that's why you have to track that.
That's why I don't count that one, but I'd say that one's like my number 4.
Yeah. So mine is X right now.
Yeah,
my number 4. If you
I mean, that's what I did recently. Like I went through Instagram and trying to grow my YouTube as well, but I naturally just posted on X and TikTok randomly. I didn't even force myself. I was like, I'm already like, why not? I got enough time. But I'm taking it with a grain of saying I'm not really forcing myself to be like, grow, Right. But I think Instagram and YouTube for me for sure. And I do want to get on X. I want to get into more article, like what we were talking about, you know, stuff like that. But I think I grow in short form videos really well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So now taking that, like, Fernando, let's go through this whole process that you've recently started helping. You're helping a pro golfer, just got a big time baseball client, getting into rotational sports. And so now it's like, okay, you need to make a post for rotational sports. So let's start to look into this checklist. We've already established, for someone out there listening, this podcast is not necessarily the best way to get views. Like, if you just want to get views, you could do a bunch of things wrong on the human side and not help people and still get views.
Yeah.
So I'm not claiming this is the best recipe to get views. I'm just claiming this gives views a shot while trying to improve lives. So we have, I don't know what the camera can see, but we have 2 different boards. We have 3 questions on the marketing side, 3 questions on the human side. So Fernando, why don't you walk through the process? Okay, you're going to make, I mean, he found with his pro golfer that he's hitting the ball farther than a lot of pro golfers, and Fernando doesn't golf. Like, there's something to this stretch and strength at the same time. And his pro golfer, you go a long time, and then all of a sudden now he's swinging faster, hitting harder.
People who even have been following him for years, immediately off one video I posted on my story, they're like, whoa, what'd you do?
What'd you do?
6 weeks of training.
So walk us through. You now have to answer all 6 of these questions. Walk us through, and you did this recently, so kind of tell us what you did.
So yeah, the honest.
We'll start with the first is you have to attract.
I have to attract attention.
Yeah, and so how'd you do that?
Because no one will. So I state that I am hitting the ball further than some top pros, which is true.
That's true.
So very important. The tie-in between number one on both sides is the honesty. The attention grabber has to be honest.
Yep.
That is like my number one rule. If I fail on the other ones, I at least did that. Like, I don't want to lie, and because I don't want to set myself for problems up in the future. But I do have to grab attention, because otherwise you're not going to help anyone.
Yeah.
Because no one will see it. So that's the tricky point, is how do you state something while being honest that does grab attention? So mine is a true statement where I can hit the ball. Even with bad technique, I'm still hitting the ball further than a lot of pros.
And you added a comment then of like,
I'm not good at golf. to really certify, to back up, hey, because I will get hate for this, and that's okay. Sometimes you have to understand that when you're getting into a new field or something, like, you're going to have some kickback, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you're holding these points in. Don't lie.
If you lie, then that's on the other side of the board. So can it attract? Okay, but is it honest?
Correct.
So that's why for the knee, it's not the only knee exercise you'll ever. No.
Right.
A lot of hate comes back to me on people making videos and saying things that I've never said.
Right. But other people who associate with you have said. And
so this is really important stuff, like as an ATG community, that we don't lie in titles of videos, so we're accurate about it. So now you get into the value side of it.
Yeah, so then I give 3 unusual exercises that are not commonly done the way that we do them. And this is what I have been doing, again, honest, and it's actually help and value what I've been doing with a pro golfer who has improved his swing speed by 6 miles an hour in 6 weeks. That's like unheard of, right? So then I show how it scales. Because another thing is, okay, the pro golfer might be able to do these exercises. Can the 50-year-old, can the 60-year-old who plays golf and wants to hit further, can they do it? Can the young child or athlete, the 8-year-old golfer do it? You know what I mean? So
on the human side, the data, can the viewer use that data? If you say, I have the best golf machine, and it's like a $30,000 thing that you get into. Well, it's going to get a lot of views.
You're right.
Or if you even say, I have $1 million machine you get into that increases your swing by 20 miles an hour, guaranteed, one session. Okay, we're just violating the heck out of the human side. We've lied already. Now let's say you start saying that golf coaches don't know what they're talking about. Now you're disrespecting.
Exactly.
You're violating the honesty, violating the respect, and you're not giving someone something that they can use. So is it honest? And is it done in a respectful way?
Right.
And can someone actually use the data? So you taught the value in a way that people could use it.
And I remember in my form of being respectful is I use a little humor on myself, right? Which is true. It's like, hey, I'm not a good golfer.
Exactly.
I use a Happy Gilmore clip, because that's me acknowledging, look, and I even acknowledge you need to work on your technique, of course, as a golf swing. So I'm not saying you don't need to do any more, stop training your golf swing and do these 3 exercises. That would be a kind of disrespectful attack on the golf community, but also it's not true, right? Like, so keeping all 3 of those things, and then, but like you said, you have to still have attention. So it could be a really amazing B-roll clip. It could be saying a statement that is a little bit, eye-opening or shocking, but true. And then number 3, the last part is can the person apply it? Am I communicating right? Am I
letting people know your service?
Yeah, you have to have a service.
Your way there.
You have to, like, if by the end of the video they're there and they're you've given them, you've helped them. Give them something to keep watching, or give them something that they can buy, or give
program.
them some, whatever it may be. It could be the YouTube link. It could be this. It could be that. It could be a program like we have for ATG. Like, okay, we can coach your form. We can teach you these exercises. So
perfect. So all 6 of those points are in. The post has a good chance of what? Helping someone.
Correct.
Golfers out there seeing that they can train their strength and flexibility at the same time and improve their golf, and more importantly, like, improve their health.
It's gonna be
longevity. From there on out.
It's a big thing for longevity.
That's a winning post. To me, a winning post, it gives views a shot, but a winning post is gonna help somebody out there. Now, Court had a major winning post where you taught, like, the knee system, basically.
Oh, yeah.
How did I walk us through that?
The most recent?
Well, there's one you did in collab with my page that went totally viral.
Yeah. The
said, how did I become one of the highest jumpers?
How I jumpers in the world. But before we talk about that, while you were speaking about that, I was remembering when I was first doing, like, my cowboy boots videos, all right, and, like, that's when I attract, right? So in 2 weeks, I gained 60,000 followers, but I naturally
you were delivering crazy value.
Fact. So, like, the attraction was there.
Oh, you had the knife.
Yeah, with the machete.
So we're not saying to get boots and a knife.
Don't do that.
I got millions of followers, but I've neither done boots nor knife. But
look, he's from Alabama. Yeah, he's from that area.
But that's my point, though.
It's honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But also, like, I went through those 6 without even knowing it was, like, already there. Like, my attraction was there with the boots, but I also was honest with myself because that's how I am. But I also told people, right, that I didn't wear the boots all the time when I worked out. I had it for, theatrics or whatever. But the information that I brought was very valuable to the individual people, and it was unbiased because I was showing people that you can work out outside.
Right? Just the scaling.
Exactly.
Anyone can do it.
And that's naturally going through the system. I didn't even know about this.
This is human nature.
Yeah.
To uplift culture. Let's look at the flip side when the government starts lying to us and then squashing us and suppressing the citizens, and then making it where success is not accessible for the average person. You now no longer can go get a job and support a family off your wage. Such societies crumble.
Yeah, it does.
Look at history. So I can't prove that this is good for social media because social media hasn't been around a long time. I can prove that this is, like, basic human natural laws to just, like, have a good life and uplift people around you.
But that's crazy, though, because as you look through, like, what's successful,
a lot of them have this.
They have that. That's my.
I want to say something on that point. There is, for any result to be achieved, there is, whether you know it or not, there is a technology to achieve that result.
Yeah.
That's a universal law. Like, whether it's building muscle, jumping higher, having a successful post, there is a technology. There is a certain,
a system.
There is a system.
Exactly. Some kind of basis.
There is something that was done in a specific way, whether you know it or not, that was done, that was successful. So essentially what I think Ben has done here is essentially, just by years now and who knows how many thousands of posts, been looking and seeing what is being done that gives the most chance. You can't promise virality. That's algorithm. You have other things, but you can promise, or
really, you can't promise the views, nor can you promise the success stories. But what is
a good video?
What seems to be generating, like, the success stories and views have already come in. That's not. It's not a debate on whether this will work. There's varying degrees of how much it'll work. Of course. Luck, to me, I think luck is a huge factor.
Yeah, it is.
Like, people tell me, oh, you're not, like,
but put yourself in that position.
I think luck is a huge factor, but this is stuff I can control.
Yes.
I still might make a dud post. My post about this might be a dud. I might.
I don't want to do that.
But I tried to go through those 6 steps at least. And it at least increases the chance.
Luck is yes. There's
algorithm.
There's opportunity. There's this. But if you're not doing this, you'll never, if you don't put yourself in a position to be lucky, you'll never be lucky. Put it that way.
Or it
So
increases your chances.
I'm going to put myself in that position every single day or every single time I post, so that when luck strikes, I had something that could be lucky.
Yeah.
Because if you go, oh, well, he's just lucky with that attitude, if you never do a good post, a good chance winning post, you're never going to have the opportunity to be lucky yourself.
Yeah.
So not having been lucky yet is not an excuse to not do a good video so that you
might go viral on this next post.
Yeah, because the video's dud and it's dud and it's a dud. But one day that video may hit.
I made a lot of duds.
You made a lot of duds.
Until this stuff started clicking.
Exactly.
And then found I could consistently, here we are. And I still make, this year, I've still made posts about the knees that have gone by, even though people have already seen this so many times.
Clean the knee videos.
And another thing is, guys, if you who haven't gone viral, you don't need to go. I've only had one.
You don't have to.
I've never had a viral video.
No,
I've never had a million.
Extremely successful programs.
I've had
without a viral video.
Few videos, maybe 2 or 3, have 300,000, like max. The rest have been 10,000, 50,000. Like I've never had a million view video like that. Like crazy. Like you guys have all had. I mean, you've had a million. You've had many. I know even new content creators that have had more success on their. It doesn't matter. So as long as I'm giving value,
you know what? Let me pause you on that. I
will grow.
It was one time, not going to call out no names, but it was one guy who hit me up and said I bought my followers on Instagram because how did I gain 60,000 in 2 weeks? But the difference is that I remember one video that he had, it was like 20 million views. And he was like, bro, I had a video that hit 20 million views. Why did I get as many followers as you did? The difference is that I had 14 videos I posted 2 weeks straight. 14 videos, all of them over 600K to almost like 5 million views each video.
And I was giving value.
They were giving value.
Exactly.
So they followed you back.
Exactly.
Something that's entertainment, attract only,
for that moment.
Only,
for that moment.
Attention only does not get you a follower per se.
So that's when I kind of realized that if you want to gain followers, but also like have views as well, you got to have a reason for somebody to click on your page in general for you to gain followers. Because like it's cool for somebody to do a crazy dunk. That dunk may not ever happen again, but what you can give is knowledge, and you can learn it every day. Like that's not something that's random. Like you can go read, learn, and give the information out there that somebody can collect, you know, rather than just like a instantaneous, like something that's momentarily. You know?
It's harder to go viral when you factor in
the
that's honesty,
difficult.
the respect. So this is why so many success stories were coming in. A lot of people followed me later on and didn't realize that I didn't have any viral posts for years in. People were doing this around the world before I ever had something go viral. So you don't even have to go viral. Your batting average could just keep improving, your average views. So the reason we track the views is it gives you like a good week to week stat. And why even track the views since we're trying to create success stories? But that is why, because we have, if you're doing it the right way, then track the views, because that's actually going to increase how many people you're helping.
Correct.
I was thinking with Fernando's, to give an example of an inversion. Absolutely, Fernando could go more viral right now by getting on steroids, then making a video hating, disrespecting people who do steroids, say that he does not do steroids.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
Someone already did this, and they went completely viral, way more viral than I ever did.
I'm already knowing.
But now I never see them anywhere. And when I talk to people out in the field, the real people have so much hate for what happened there and ruined a lot of good things, because there actually were a lot of good aspects. Fernando could do a bunch of things right. He could be eating real food and exercising, but he could start taking steroids, lie, say, I don't take steroids. People who take steroids are idiots as he's taking steroids. You want people to hate your guts? There's your recipe.
Lie.
But you will get more views right now. You will sell more supplements right now. I'm not saying this doesn't work. Broadly on the planet, the marketing side is winning, and it's just easier to lie about value than to deliver actual value. It's much easier to take steroids and say that it's because of his workout supplement than to actually get real results. This stuff works. Go take a drive. Go turn on a TV. The drug companies are crushing us. But what are the broad statistics? People are less healthy. The value is not there relative. I'm not saying no drug has value. No, but the actual value in the real world, you could easily prove, is not there relative to the marketing and relative. So it's
to the health stats.
But it's working. The marketing side is working.
Money's going up, health's going down. So something's off.
Exactly. That's all. Exactly.
Simple.
Exactly. I don't see it's the commercial for, you're not going to see Fernando on a Super Bowl commercial and he says, try to eat at least 80% unprocessed food and exercise.
I don't want to hear that.
Right? That's not it's actually wild how much when I'm watching ads, I'm like, is there anything other than junk food and drugs? Like, is there anything good and honest and helpful being advertised? It's so hard to find anything that's not. And they have all that money to put on it because it is a scam to some degree. If it wasn't a scam, they wouldn't have like the Apple Orchard doesn't have $1 billion to spend on marketing.
Yeah.
It's not a scam. It's like you're getting a direct value for your Apple.
Correct.
But I do think that like if you're trying to grow like social media or you're trying to like get to a certain point, especially like with the health industry that's going on with the food and drugs or even just like social media, like when you put information out that's not true and honest, like you want that quick success. If you're not looking for the long form, like long term, you're not going to be successful in general. Yep. Like you'll get that, like you said, like that quick success, but it really ain't gonna matter because it's gonna come to the light. Like it's gonna, show that everything you did in the beginning really was just like a tactic to, get people's attention. It didn't matter what you only cared about yourself rather than like actually helping people.
With very few exceptions, there are exceptions, of course, to everything, but most people who do that fail.
Yeah, exactly.
5 years, 10 years, and especially
long-term,
they'll make $1 million. They think they're rich. They spend it all. 5 years, it's gone. Now they're gone. You know what I mean? It's tough. So you got to be honest and you got to give actual value that anyone can apply.
It's like a industry plant, kind of,
And you don't want to be depressed at the end of it.
Nah, you don't.
And I've seen like a direct correlation between how honestly people did it and then how many people did they help? So you made this much money, but from that much money, how many people did you help?
Yep. And
how honest were you through it? And then so sometimes you find out, wow, this person achieved all their goals and they're depressed, but their goal was not based on, it didn't have honesty. It wasn't helping people.
Yeah.
So
that's a good point.
Yeah. The goal at the end of this, you should sleep like a baby. You should be able to get a lot of views and sleep like a baby at night, not be stressed. And then people lash out. They're upset about their own, they know that they're doing wrong. So then when they get called out or hated on for it, so that the hate will bounce off you more the more your own shit is together.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And I'll be even super transparent. Like when I first started, I think it was a year and a half, maybe even 2 years at this point. I can't remember exactly. But basically, I would kind of something I know we've talked about. You fell for this to some degree. It's like I wanted to help people, so I would use attention lines that were a little bit lie or a little bit untrue. Like, the three best action, like just saying
this is what everyone's doing. Like
because everyone's doing this.
Everyone's doing it.
So I'm like, oh, do this one exercise to fix your shoulder pain. And I didn't even realize that it was dishonest, to be fair. But that's my responsibility. And we've realized over time, we've been like cognitive of like, oh wow, these things are not actually true statements. And so I would get attacks and they used to hurt because I'm like, oh, the guy's an a-hole, but maybe a little truth.
Yep.
Maybe he's misunderstanding. But like you said, the more honest I've been now, like with this golf post, I know it's gonna get can't say it's not. I'm gonna sleep well at night because nothing I'm saying is a lie, and I'm trying to help, and that's all I know.
When you're honest, you're able to. When you talk to somebody about the information that they got, you're able to like actually speak about it rather than just trying to come up with some random like, why did you say this? You're like, But when you be honest, you're able to just like spill it out like easily with no tension or nothing like that.
It's way easier to handle the hate.
Yeah. And what you're gonna get, especially when you're being honest, like you're easy, like you could get less hate by lying. But when you're honest about like what's really going on and how you should do something, and you're not disrespecting nobody, you're being honest and being genuine throughout the process of making content, you get so much more hate. Like Ben gets so much hate, and he's the most honest person. Like,
but it would be a lot more if I lied. If I then.
This is a good tie. That's a perfect tie-in because I wanted to say, Ben, talk about how the reality of what it seems, how much hate you get online.
Oh yeah.
Well, the people who hate are the
so
only people
tiny.
who are they're more likely to comment.
Yeah.
The loudest people are the haters.
Yeah.
It's not the truth of what's actually happening.
Yeah.
Those people viewing, most of them are liking it.
Yeah.
So don't let that affect you. Go ahead.
Yeah, for sure. Which is that you're not getting an accurate society sample size, meaning people who can never have to face what they're saying. You're gonna get different hate. Like I've been spotted probably close to 1,000 times now. No one's ever said something mean.
Exactly.
But I absolutely dare you to find any social media post with 1,000 comments that doesn't have something mean. Now, these steps definitely will reduce. I can definitely throw up some posts now and get hundreds of comments before I even see one mean thing. Like, this does help bulletproof you. Someone will still find, well, I made my last video per this, and I sent it in the chat. I've only seen one mean thing so far, and it was telling me to wear sunscreen. So they couldn't even find anything about.
That's what my point was.
I did a video about, they couldn't. So like, you'll know that you're getting this right when they can't even find anything about the material to attack you on, and they will attack you for something that doesn't have to do with this.
I had one that did really well in a collab with us, and lots of love. And then the only comments were like, you look like this, or this guy's accent, or this guy. It was all like, when you start to get hate like that, you know you're winning. It's like,
you're on steroids.
Yeah.
And you're not. That's like the ultimate compliment.
And to what I was saying too, I was meaning that, like, you don't get more hate by being honest. I think people try to find like anything to hate on you about when you're being honest.
Court could dunk on a rim that's 10'2", and there would still be, if it went viral, there would still be people commenting that it's a low rim. I mean, like, they can't find it, you know. But yes, if you violate these things, if you don't make it accessible, if you lie, if you disrespect others, then they will find legitimate things to attack you on. It's an interesting thing, and that's the only reason we're even doing this podcast, is because what Fernando said, this is not even the average norm. If you go on YouTube, it is scary. Stop knee pain in 60 seconds, guaranteed. The only exercise you'll ever need. That was word for word, not an exaggeration.
I know.
What I just said was not an exaggeration. That was actually word for word. I'm actually going to talk to the person who put that video up, because it was an interview with me. And so I get the majority of the hate that I found is not from things that I've said. It's from things that other people have said about me lying. And nor was it the guy who runs that YouTube channel. If you hire a YouTube company, you might hire the best company with the best stats, but they're only measuring the view side. And they may violate it, and they may actually reduce your reputation.
Right. 100%.
And you know what? And I just thought about something too. Like, when you're making content, I think the people that talk about, like, for an example, you can gain 5 inches in like a month.
Right.
It's like, honestly, it takes guaranteed is crazy.
Increase your vertical 8 inches in 6 weeks.
I hate that so much, because it took me like all my life to gain 15. Like, bro, because like I first dunked when I was 16. I had like 30 inch vertical, and it took me forever to gain like 15.
Let's do this as a final drill. Forrest, what time are we at? How much time?
12 minutes.
12 minutes left. Okay, final drill. I'm going to now have Cortland construct a video right now. You're going to construct a script, but you just said it. How I increase my vertical 15 inches over
a span of probably like
10 years.
I would say 10 or 12 years. Yeah, probably right at 10 years for sure.
Right, so you would just accurately, like, you can actually still go viral off straight data that actually works. So it does have to be built on real value. We didn't just start posting, like,
mine
we got
would
results.
be how I gained 20 pounds over 2 years.
Yeah.
There you go.
You see what I'm saying?
How
Like,
I gained 20. Either of those could go viral. Now, we got the attract step. So what's the value?
Right.
So go ahead and start.
The value.
How did you increase your vertical 15 inches?
Well, I know.
What are the factors?
The first factor was becoming pain free. Like, I could jump in the beginning, like, naturally, but it hurt, and I kind of limit myself from jumping higher because I stopped jumping often because it was hurting. So
how
like
many reps? How many maximum jump attempts without knee pain do you think you've done
currently, like, to this date?
In that 10 years?
In the 10 years, it's probably only
10,000?
been like, yeah, it's just.
I mean, because you could actually make the post amazing by really trying to assess the honest and accurate. So it's like you know now how to control your knee ability to not have knee pain, but you've also mastered the technique. Your technique is amazing.
Yeah.
But you've practiced it. How many times do you think you have practiced a proper penultimate step on a jump versus me? How many have I done? Maybe 100?
Yeah.
And you've probably done 10,000
Yeah,
with
but
proper technique.
But if I'm being honest, and it's not even trying to be biased, like, I wasn't pain free till I did ATG. Like, not even like just like starting.
But it definitely got worse.
Yeah. What?
Like, I remember you ran into like a real injury, and then
Yeah,
the
but
vertical.
that was like a freak accident though. So like that kind of.
Yeah, but there's almost like a ratio, like a correlation between like how much knee pain do you have and how much harder is it to go higher. And like the less knee pain you have, the easier it is to jump
The
higher.
easier it is to jump higher.
Right.
Facts.
Like it's not like an all out.
And that's
like,
what he was saying. It's like he started to reduce his pain, which then allowed him to even
That's
jump
that's
high.
my first step. I think like if you want to gain inches on your vertical, for me, my first step was being pain free, because I kind of hit like a stopping point in my life because I was hurting so much I couldn't go past like 45 inches. I didn't really hit 50 inches until I started putting ATG in my exercises.
So if you say just jump 10,000 times, well, that's only half honest.
Yeah.
And if you say I didn't even practice jumping, I just did this program.
Yeah, no, seriously.
That's also not honest. Yeah. Whereas for me, that's more honest, but I'm not at like the 50-inch level. I'm at like the 40-inch. Like you can see how high I jump, is not off technique, because my technique still sucks.
Yeah.
It's really just off powering up my knees quite a bit, and at least having a history of like being coordinated for basketball.
And that's a similar thing with
and same with you. You're like
golf.
Tarzan, just like running up with the ball. Like
Well,
a
yeah,
Tarzan.
and
Like,
basketball, I'm even worse technique, I think, than golf. But
but we're not at
but it's the
that
same thing.
level
It's like we're not claiming we're expert jumper. I'm terrible golf. But that's the whole point, is that we can still do these things because of this proper training, if we will, this ATG system, if we will.
I think the first goal, if you want to do anything, bro, is like being pain free. I don't care what it is.
If I swung a golf club and it hurt, if I tried to jump or throw a football and it hurt, then that's it. I mean, that's the first step. Stop trying to increase your power. Stop trying to do this or that. You have to be able to do it pain free. So I agree with what you're saying.
And I do think, like, if I did make a video about like it took 10,000 jumps and I had to go through like a pain free ability journey to start adding inches to my vertical, I think the attraction would literally be showing me like my head above the rim. Like,
I think it'd be a really good video. But see, the title, like I grew up and it was always how to put 8 inches on your vertical in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It was never
always
how not how you guaranteed, no, how I put 15 inches on my vertical over 10. Maybe you can make it extra honest, 10, if you're not sure if it's 10, 11 years. I mean, there's scales of it.
Yeah, scales.
10 plus years. That's the YouTube title. That's the Instagram title you have there, or that's your opening statement on Instagram. Here's how I put 15 inches on my vertical over 10 plus years.
It's a great video.
But wouldn't it like, and see, that's the thing though, when you become real honest, because especially when you go through that journey and you become real honest, that kind of debunk everything else everybody done talked about. Like you become like this myth, like it's like everybody been saying, oh, I can gain this amount in 2 months. But you just said, yo, I'm really doing this, and it took me 10 years to do this. So like,
and you can even then break it down, right? You could then take, how I gained the last 5 inches.
Yeah.
After I started ATG, what did I do when I started? So
and
you can break it down. You can go.
Scale.
It was just a different video, right? It's a different message. So all of these work. You can go short term, long term. The long term is a great idea, though. No one's really ever done. I haven't seen anything like that. Like an actual.
I've been doing that
journey.
the last couple of years. I've been repeatedly saying, I've been working on this 10 years. I've been rather than this will fix your knee pain fast.
Exactly.
Right? And people have really responded. Like people seem to really respond when I'm saying, no, this isn't, I do this for 2. I've been working on the ATG split squat for 10 plus years. Yeah. And they seem to really, I think that video, now the effect of it, that can get views. Maybe you'd get more views by saying how I put 15 inches on my vertical in 10 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can still get views by being honest. But the end effect of it, because if you said 15 inches in 10 weeks, then everyone who goes and tries to mimic this is now going to be feeling terrible because they didn't get the same result.
Exactly.
And so then they're going to give up on it. So then the end effect is a year goes by and like no one's doing your program.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
No one's having the result. But instead, you're going to have people writing back going, I just got my first dunk. My knee doesn't hurt. And we're seeing that. People send you these messages.
Yes.
You're changing lives.
Exactly. And I think like, and this the difference between like my program, my jump program, and all these other programs is that, number one, I'm very honest about like the results. I'm not finna tell you finna jump out the gym. Like you can go through loaded, 0, and you can go through deluxe, but you're not going to just gain 20 inches. Now, I always say you can find your jump potential, because I'm not expecting everybody to, I don't think everybody that wants to jump is going to get a 50-inch vertical. That's just what it is.
If him and I did the same muscle building program, we're not going to necessarily
more
build
jacked.
the same
You're
amount.
going to jump
but
higher.
He will gain muscle.
Exactly.
And I will gain
you
muscle.
You will improve though. Like you would jump higher and be pain free more than you ever been by following the steps that I went through. Now you may not be in my position where I'm at, but you will have the same mindset of like it did work in some form or fashion. Which is I like the honesty part of it.
I love it. This was a good one. Probably close to 40. 5 minutes? All right.
5 minutes. I got a question for both of you guys.
Let's talk politics. No, I'm just kidding. and podcast. No, but the crazy thing is, like, if you really wanted to get down to it, everyone in politics is all furious over violations of this.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why I don't even get into it, is because, like, we're not even standing on solid ground here. Like, it's not.
They're all doing attention. None of them are being honest.
There's no morals, bro. It's just,
Both sides try to help in some degree, but then there's too many things that don't scale. They don't really try to help. There's lies behind it. It's all just, that's what you're saying. It's like,
I'm going to go with whoever has this in check.
Exactly.
The most.
The most.
It doesn't
The
mean
most.
anyone's perfect, but I'm going to look at who's being the most honest, who's being the most respectful of the people, not squashing and suppressing the people.
Yep.
How do you think, we would feel if we couldn't even put out what we know on social media? That would suck.
Yep.
What's up? Yeah.
So
I do think that
someone
both
could
sides have
guess.
it.
Someone could honestly guess what I'm going to do in any election. Don't even ask me. You go look at that. I'm going to go based on that.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah. So anyways, just to finish one more thing, a couple minutes here on like the muscle build. Like if I were to do an honest video right off the top of my head, it'd be like, there was a point where I went from 200 pounds to 220, and it took like 2-3 years. So I can
That's
say,
crazy.
So I can say, but I stayed lean. So I'm gonna say how I gained 20 pounds of lean mass over 2 years. I probably did at least.
But saying over 2 years is just such a huge difference.
1,000 workouts.
The 6 weeks.
1,000 workouts
Yeah, there you go.
hard
Yeah.
to a failure. Like giving the reality.
Yeah.
It's like, look, you're not going to
That's what
do
it is.
this
Great
program
point.
for a month
The reality.
and gain 20 pounds. And if you do, you got fat. You did something wrong. But then I'm also going to have to talk about, look, you got to eat. Mm-hmm. And no, did I eat perfectly? Was I broke at the time? Yeah. So the truth is I ate pizza and I ate some things I shouldn't have. But it's just like, if I give the honest truth, what were the things that actually mattered? What were the things that actually helped me gain this? Training hard. A lot of
Full
training.
ranges of motion.
Full ranges of motion,
Yep.
always. That's what took me from, I was 175, I went to 200 without full range of motion. Stopped at 200 and had pains. From 200 to 220, full range of motion.
Crazy.
Got strong, got athletic, started dunking, started sprinting faster, as fast as NFL guy. That was the difference. And what did I do? I have certain things. It was a certain amount of protein. It was a certain amount of calories. Was everything perfect?
Interesting.
Absolutely not. But there are some key basics, fundamentals that if those are applied, will
If you have
get
enough-
a pretty damn
If you have
good
enough
result.
volume of enough range with enough calories that are made of enough protein, and you have a formula there.
Right there.
And I do think I do think though, even with the body mass, like building muscle and jumping higher, it gets more difficult as you get better at it though. Like
Of course.
if you get 200,
Now, if I'm 220 to go to 240, that
Exactly.
might never happen. But that's where the potentials. Maybe someone listening is 155 and they want to get to 175. Right? It's like everyone
Whatever-
has
yeah.
their own potential.
Whatever your genetic normal would be if you did no training,
Right.
If you didn't make any efforts, the farther you go past that, well, like your body has its own natural level, so it's going to get exponentially
And this is
tougher.
a little off topic in the sense of the point of this podcast, but I do want to say for the people who are listening that want to gain muscle, who've like, I've been training for 10 years. I was training for 10 years and then gained 20 pounds of muscle. So you may not be at your potential.
Exactly.
That's
there's-
actually a good title.
Wow.
I was training for 10 years and then gained 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Like that's actually, it's an interesting thing. Ideally, you're so good at what you do that you could just be doing a workout. You could, like The Rock is so famous that, or let's say Michael Jordan, if he just says, "I'm going to show you my jab move," and it's going viral.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have to have a good just
You just made me think of something real quick.
like ideally you're that good that
Yeah.
it doesn't even this is not even like a strain.
when
I mean, his attention is him.
when I was when I went
And
through
it
my
already
knee
worked.
stuff,
Like people already know its real value, so they want to.
when I went through my knee pain, I remember I was like, oh man, my knee's been hurting for a year, like almost like a full year. But I didn't see real results until like I came here, when I first came here. Like I was doing my stuff at home when I hurt my knee, and then I heard it was like 7 months. I had no results. And I hit up Marcel, and I'm like, bro, I don't know what's going on. How do I fix this? But when I came here, it took literally 2 months for me to like see results. So like you were saying, it took you 10 years, but it may take you more than 10 years to like really start seeing real results, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because I wasn't training ATG. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Once I started doing that,
The final
So anyways,
the final minute.
there's a lot to it, but but it's being honest in your title
Yeah.
that is still attention grabbing, but you got to be honest. Yeah, that's the
Yep.
simplicity of it.
Thanks to everyone who listened through the 40 minutes. Hope you had a good workout. We'll keep doing these once a week so that you got a nice little workout companion.
Yeah.
Listen to something that now you've got some usable data to work off of.
Yeah.
Catch you on the next one.
See ya.
Peace.